Agenda's always been committed to hearing the voice of people who use services, and we've got our own Service User Involvement Directorate, so we've involved people who use services and use their voices and their direct experience to explain the agenda of personalisation. And so it's a conference with a difference in that the people who really count and it really affect will actually lead the conference, speak at it and design it and deliver key messages. That's why we organised the conference today.
I'm here to learn more so that I can, as a service user, work for my Together group to assist other people with their personalisation issues.
We are here together on an honest forum to speak and to join about the service users and people who are experiencing difficulties in life. It's people, it's not patients, it's not about illness, it's about well-being.
I came along because I really do approve of Together's work, and actually in order to make personalisation work, we have to work together.
We usually experience the same difficulties with the mental health system, and each person's come up with their own little way of overcoming those difficulties, and hopefully that can be shared.
I run a service user involvement project in Tower Hamlets, and we've been involved in quite a lot of the personalisation workshops and forum providers up there, provider forums up there. And it'll be really interesting to see how much ownership and power they can give to people that are actually using their services. I'm really excited by it, actually. I think it's going to be really empowering. It's going to be really unsettling, but when we get there, I think it'll be really good for everybody.
Personalisation has been around in one form or another for quite some time, and it's already improved the lives of a large number of people with a range of physical disabilities. In the mental health field, we've been much slower to take advantage of the opportunities that it offers, and I think one of the blocks has been this fear that statutory authorities have that mad people aren't capable of acting in their own best interests.
I know that personalisation is coming in next year basically, and that it will require people making their own selections on the care they would like to have, but it will very much depend upon the local authority they're working with as to what variety of service they will get.
When I read about personalisation, it said that some people in the south had been awarded budgets for exactly what I wanted them for, someone with the same diagnosis and in the same kind of circumstances. But in Lancashire, where I live, that wasn't the case. They weren't awarding budgets for mental health needs.
Today I'm going to be talking about the importance of measuring the impact of service user involvement. It will enable people to distinguish between real, genuine service user involvement, the service user involvement that makes a difference, and faux service user involvement.
My personal experience is that when the assessor came round to do the assessment, the paper was tailored to people with physical needs and it didn't take into account social needs and mental health needs.
Personalisation in Scotland is known as direct payments or individual budgets. It did happen quite early in Scotland, earlier than it did in England. However, it did tend to be in a one-size-fits-all way. There was really one way of doing it. There was actually a lack of uptake of that particular way of doing things. In Scotland, there's now a range of options being considered. That's the way that England started off. So they've started off with a range which includes several different funding streams. It's much more flexible, and particularly in terms of what the service user might identify as the supports that they require.
Extremely encouraging. We're working on peer support specialism already and have a bank process in place and a unique training program that's come over from America. So it was interesting to hear the first speaker today, actually.
Too often the system is set up to meet the needs of services or to meet the needs of providers rather than to meet the needs of the individual themselves. So it's really important that care assessments that are being made with the full involvement of the individual themselves, so that the potential outcomes from the supports that are purchased are much more likely to be outcomes which the service user wants, rather than some kind of compromise.
They should know that it's got to be co-produced, that service users have really got to be engaged in a very meaningful way in determining how the future of services should be developed, that by empowering people to have more choice and control, giving them good information, they know what keeps them well.
To have an opportunity to talk about personalization and what we've done in the U.S. is terrific. It's been a 20-year journey to implement some of these ideas. Our next challenge has been co-optation marginalization, where people in policy-setting positions say they agree with us, but their actions are the same. And they'll say, for instance, oh, well, that's important, but we've been doing it all along. So we have to hold their feet to the fire and really have ways of evaluating progress towards a personalization agenda.
That's the title of the image, and the image looks like this. 3, 2, 1. Have a look.
Personalization agenda has to be led by people with lived experience with service users, because we know from our lived experience what helps and what hurts, and our voice, our hopes, our dreams need to drive this change here as it has in the US.
And there might be a sort of a mediating role for them.
The key messages from today are about ordinary life. People want an ordinary life, and I think if society is able to support people who are vulnerable at certain times, to use a mother and toddler class, to go swimming, to take part in sports, social life, if that's the case, then the whole of society benefits. And the message really is not complicated, it's just a message that needs to be acted upon.
It was an excellent conference. I've really learned a lot about personalisation, heard people's concerns and shared some thoughts also in the roundtable discussion.
The reason today was such a good conference, the reason that it was so successful, was that we had speakers from America, from Scotland, we had people speaking about their individual experiences.
I really enjoyed the speakers. I thought they were powerful in what they said, actually, and I think there's nothing more strong than hearing service users' experience. I just wish there'd been a few more commissioners here today.
So I think it's congratulations to get together, and very much congratulations to those people who contributed by coming, as well as those people who spoke up and spoke out.